All of God's people used to be one country. They had had kings like Saul, David, and Solomon. Now they were divided into two countries. One country was called Israel and the other Judah. Ahab was the king of Israel, and he did not obey God. He married a very bad woman named Jezebel. King Ahab and Queen Jezebel made idols to false gods and then worshiped them. They wanted everyone in the country to worship the idols. There was a man in Israel who did not like the things that King Ahab and Queen Jezebel did. He did not worship idols. This man's name was Elijah, and he only worshiped the one true God. Elijah was a prophet of God. A prophet is someone who has a special message from God. God would tell Elijah things, and Elijah would go and tell the people. Sometimes people liked what Elijah said, and they thanked him for bringing the good messages from God. Sometimes the people did not like the message. Some people did not want to be told they were wrong. God had a special message for Elijah. He told Elijah to take the message to the king and queen. God told Elijah to tell them that he was very angry with them because they worship idols. Because they kept doing these things, then the Lord would send a terrible drought. That would mean that there would be no rain for a long time. Things happened just like Elijah prophesied. The rain stopped and everything became very dry. King Ahab and Queen Jezebel became very angry. They wanted to kill Elijah the prophet, but God took care of Elijah. He made sure no one would find him. He told Elijah to go to a special place and to stay there. Even though the rest of the country was dry from the drought, Elijah was safe and always had enough water from a brook. The Lord also made sure Elijah had plenty to eat. Every morning and every evening ravens would fly in and bring Elijah bread and meat to eat. After a while, the brook dried up, and God told Elijah to go to the city of Zarephath. When Elijah traveled, he must have noticed how dry everything was. Elijah wondered what he would find in Zarephath. When Elijah got to the city, he found a woman and her son collecting sticks. He asked the woman for a drink of water, and she said that she would get some. Then Elijah asked the woman if she would also bring him a little bread. The woman was very sad. She was very poor. She said that she only had enough oil and flour to make one last meal for herself and her son. After that, they would not have anything to eat, and they would die. Elijah told the woman not to worry. She should go ahead and make some bread for Elijah. God would make sure that she still had enough for herself and her son. Elijah had a special message from the Lord. As long as the drought lasts, you will always have enough oil and flour to make bread for me and for your family. The woman rushed away and made the bread for Elijah. Then she made some for her son and for herself. She had enough flour and oil to make some for her whole family. Then she had enough to make more bread the next day and the next. As long as the drought lasted, the woman had enough oil and flour. As time went by, the woman's son became sick and died. She brought the boy to Elijah and asked him to help her. Elijah carried the boy upstairs to the room where he was staying. He prayed to the Lord to help the boy. Another miracle happened. The Lord made the little boy alive again. Elijah carried him back to his mother and told her how the Lord raised him from the dead. The woman was very happy. Now I know that you are a true prophet of God. I know that the Lord is the only true God. Elijah continued to stay at the woman's house for a long time. Even though other people were hungry and the land was dry, God made sure that his prophet, Elijah, was safe. God took care of Elijah. The woman was happy that Elijah was there because her son became ill and died, and Elijah raised him from the dead. The woman agreed to hide to Elijah, and because of the power of the Lord, the supply of flour and oil never ran out.
Well, that's the end of today's story, kids. We hope you come back to us here at J and our Ministry for Kids and hear the rest of Elijah's stories.